The sky over Earth was quiet that night. Stars blinked gently above the dark clouds. Most people were asleep, but deep under the mountains, in a hidden military base. Alarms began to ring inside the control room. Bright lights flashed on the screens. A young officer shouted, "We're receiving a signal. It's not from Earth. It's coming from Sector 9, deep space." General Helena Tran rushed into the room. "Put it on the main screen," she ordered. Everyone stared as a shaky hologram appeared. Tall alien woman with golden eyes and silver skin looked straight at the camera. She was wearing royal armor, but it was damaged and cracked. Smoke rose behind her, and her voice was strong but tired. "This is Queen Althora of the Zarian Empire. I am under siege. My cousin, Victor, has taken control. He wishes to start a war with the entire galaxy. The other empires have abandoned me. But I remember Earth. You helped us before. I ask you now, please, help me again. You are my only hope." The message cut off. The room went silent. "Is it real?" asked one officer. "It's real," said General Tran. "That's Queen Althora. She once saved our colonies from the Drexer swarm, but helping her now means war," someone said. "And Earth isn't ready." Tran stared at the frozen image of the Queen. "We owe her. She didn't abandon us back then." She turned to her aide. "Activate Project Honorbound. Call them all." 3 days later, secret base in Nevada desert, one by one. They arrived. First came Commander Jacques Reeve, a tall man with rough hands and calm eyes. A war hero from the lunar siege, now retired. He walked slowly, but spoke with purpose. Next came Lena Cross, a sharp-eyed sniper and former Special Ops agent. She had once taken out a tank with just 2 bullets and a broken drone. Milo Chen, genius hacker with a nervous laugh, joined quietly. He wore a hoodie and glasses and carried a custom-built AI chip in his pocket. Tariq Voss, an ex-mercenary with scars across his arms, nodded silently. He didn't talk much, but his fists spoke louder than words. The last was Rena Solari, peaceful alien-human hybrid who once served as a diplomat between Earth and Zarya. She knew Althora personally. General Tran stood before them. "You are the best we've got," she said. "And you know the risks." She played the message again. They all watched. "She's alive," Rena whispered. "But not for long." "You want us to go save her?" Milo asked. "In the middle of enemy space." Tran nodded. "If we don't, Victor will take full control of the Zarian Empire. He'll turn it into a weapon against the galaxy. Earth is on his list." "Then we go," said Jocks. Lena crossed her arms. "We'll need a fast ship and full gear." "Oh, get it," said Tran. "But once you leave orbit, you're on your own. No backup. No rescue." "That's fine," said Tariq. "We don't need saving." Aboard the Starblade Earth stealth ship, the ship was sleek, dark, and built for speed. Inside, the crew began to prepare. Lena checked her rifles and silent pistols. "We'll be going in blind. No maps, no allies," Milo tapped. On his tablet, "I've uploaded all known Zarian frequencies. I might be able to break into their systems once we're close." Rena looked out the window. Stars shimmered around them. "Zarya was beautiful," she said. "Now it may be burning." Stayed quiet. He walked into the strategy room and stared at an old photo on the wall. It showed him and Queen Althora years ago, standing side by side after a peace mission. She had been kind, strong, and unlike any other ruler he had met. He touched the photo gently. "Hang on," he whispered. "We're coming." Crossing the stars as the ship jumped into deep space. The crew faced their first challenge, the Vorak Void, a dead zone filled with broken satellites, space debris, and pirate ships. "We'll have to go around it," Milo said. "No time," Lena replied. "We go through." Alarms blared as enemy. Scanners locked onto the ship. Small pirate vessels appeared, circling like sharks. Jocks took the controls. "Hang tight." The Starblade danced between the wreckage, spinning and weaving. Rena activated shields. Tariq manned the rear guns, shooting. Down to attackers. Inside the chaos, Milo hacked into the pirates' comms. "I've confused their targeting systems." Boom. One enemy ship crashed into an asteroid. They escaped, but just barely. The engine sizzled and sparks flew. We need to stop for repairs, Lena said. No time, Jock said. Laveris. Waiting. I'd watch later that night. The crew took turns resting. Irina walked onto the viewing deck where Jock sat alone. You knew her, didn't you? She asked. Jax nodded. 5 years ago, she saved my life after a peace deal went wrong. I thought she was just a politician. But she stood in front of me and took the blast meant for me. She trusts humans more than her own people, Rena said. And you most of all. That's what scares me, Jox said softly. They watched the stars in silence. Unexpected message. Suddenly, the ship's computer beeped. A message came through, scrambled but urgent. Milo ran to the console. It's from Zarya. It's her again. They watched as a new message played. Queen Althora looked worse. Her armor was gone, and her face had bruises. He's found me. Victor has turned my guards. They say he will be crowned in 3 days. I don't know how long I can last. But if you are hearing this, I believe in you. Then static. She's still alive, Lena said. But not for long, Tariq growled. Jock stood up. Set course for the Zarian capital. Full speed. The threat ahead. As they neared Zarya, Milo spoke up. There's something else. Vector knows we're coming. Someone leaked our location. Everyone turned silent. You're saying there's a traitor on this ship? Lena asked. No, Jock said. It means we have to move faster. They stared at the growing shape of the Zarian planet in the distance. Storm clouds covered the capital. Fires burned on the ground. It was time. The Zarian planet glowed in the distance like a dying star. Storm clouds rolled across its surface, and lightning flashed over dark mountains. The capital city was hidden under thick smoke. But the rescue team had no time to slow down. Inside the Starblade, everyone was awake and tense. We're entering enemy territory, said Commander Jox Reeve. From now on, every second counts. Lena cross-checked her weapons again. Stealth mode is on, but we'll still show up on high-level scans. Milo Chen tapped quickly on his console. I have jammed most Zarian sensors, but we only have about an hour before they detect us.
Arena.
Solari looked out the window. Zarya was once full of life. Now it looks broken. Tariq Voss stood near the exit hatch, holding 2 plasma hammers. Let's make sure we don't end up the same, Jox nodded. We're not here to fight a war. We're here to rescue the Queen. We get in, we get her out, and we leave. Fast. But things were never that simple. Entering the Vorak Void before they could land on Zarya, the team had to cross a space region called the Vorak Void Accursed. Place filled with old wrecks, mining debris, and ghost signals. Ships that entered often never returned. Jock stared at the screen. This place is a graveyard. Yeah, said Milo. But there's a shortcut through it. We save 2 hours if we make it through, or we die in 5 minutes, Lena said dryly. I say we risk it, Jock said. The Queen doesn't have much time. They entered the void. Dark shapes floated all around. Old Zarian warships drifted silently, some broken in half. Wrecked stations spun slowly in the dark. Suddenly, the lights flickered inside the Starblade. Radiation storm, incoming, Milo shouted. Brace yourselves, Rena yelled, pulling down metal shields over the windows. The ship rocked violently. Sparks flew from the control panels. Alarms screamed. Jox gripped the wheel tightly. Hold it together. Tariq ran to the engine room as smoke poured out. He pulled a lever and shouted, rebooting core systems now. After 30 seconds of chaos, everything went dark. And then, Lyland's dot lights came back on slowly. The ship was alive again. We made it, Milo whispered. Oh, but we're not alone. A surprise attack. 5 small ships appeared on the radar. They're coming from behind us, Lena said. Pirates. Maybe Zarian scouts. Too fast to be pirates, Jock said. They're hunters. The enemy ships fired. Boom. The Starblade shook. Tariq jumped to the gun controls. I'll keep them busy. Lena launched counter-drones. Tiny machines swarmed outside the ship, firing lasers and blocking incoming missiles. Rena used the comms to send false signals, confusing the enemy. Milo shouted. I've hacked their lead ship's camera. I can blind them. Jocks flew through, the debris spinning and dodging, using broken ship parts as cover. The Starblade flew like a ghost. Boom. One enemy ship hit a floating tower and exploded. Tariq shot down another with perfect aim, but one enemy missile was too fast. It slammed into the side of the Starblade. The ship spun out of control and crashed into a nearby moon. Crash landing on a dead moon, the ship slid across the rocky surface of the moon, metal grinding against stone. It finally stopped, half buried in dust. Everyone groaned. Is everyone alive? Jocks asked. Barely, said Lena. Hull damage is bad. Tariq checked the engines. They're fried. We're not flying out of here anytime soon?
Else.
Need time? Said Milo. I can fix the main systems if I rewire the power core. Then do it fast, Jock said. They'll send more after us. Trouble on the ground while Milo worked inside the ship. The rest set up defense lines outside. Tariq placed laser mines around the crash zone. Lena climbed a ridge to watch the horizon. She spotted movement. Company, she said. 3 ships, landing 5 clicks away. Jocks grabbed his rifle. Looks like Victor sent a search team. What do we do? Rena asked. We hold them off, Jocks said. If they find us, the mission ends here. The fight begins and Omi soldiers marched toward the Starblade, weapons ready. They were Zarian elite guards, tall and armored with red visors glowing in the dark. Jocks, Lena, Rina, and Tariq took positions as the first soldier stepped onto a mine boom. It exploded, throwing others off balance. Lena shot from her hill. 1 down. Tariq jumped from behind a rock, slamming his hammer into the ground. The shockwave knocked over 3 guards. Rena used a small energy shield to block fire and help Jocks push forward. Jax moved fast and smart, shooting at weak points in the enemy armor. 2 fell quickly, but more were coming. A close callback in the ship. Milo worked fast. Sparks flew as he rewired the power grid. Come on, he muttered. Just then the lights dimmed. Engines hummed again. I did it, he shouted. Hours back. Outside, the team was falling back toward the ship. They were outnumbered. Start the engine now, Jock shouted. The back doors opened, and the team ran inside as plasma blasts hit the walls. The Starblade lifted slowly into the air. Tariq fired. One last grenade, blowing up a fuel tank near the enemy squad. Boom. The ship rose into the sky and disappeared into the clouds. A growing mystery inside the ship. Everyone caught their breath. That was too close, Lena said. We were expected, Jock said. Those soldiers didn't look surprised to see us. There's something else, Milo said. While I was fixing the systems, I found something. He opened a screen. Someone sent a signal from our ship. A tracker. That's how they found us so fast. Everyone stared at each other. Are you saying we have a traitor on board? Rena asked. I'm saying someone. Here sent our location, Milo said. And it wasn't me. Silence filled the room. Jocks looked at them one by one. We'll deal with that later. Right now, we still have a queen to rescue. The capital in sight. The ship broke through the final clouds. And there it was, the Zarian capital city. But it didn't look like a capital anymore. Fires burned across the skyline. Giant banners of Vactor's army waved above the towers. Patrol. Drones flew in circles. Streets were empty except for soldiers, and in the middle of it all stood the Golden Fortress. Where Queen Althora was being held, Rena whispered, That's where she is. And that's where we're going, Jocks said. The Zarian capital looked like a city at war. Smoke rose from broken towers. Walls once covered in beautiful symbols were now painted with Victor S. red flags. Heavy machines guarded every road. Drones flew overhead like watchful eyes. It was no longer a city of peace. It was a prison. Inside the Starblade, the team studied a 3D map of the city. There, said Rena Solari, pointing to the glowing structure in the center. That's the Golden Fortress. Queen Althora is held inside. We can't just fly In, said Commander Jox Reeve. Every ship that gets close is shot down. We'll go by foot, said Lena Cross. Low and quiet. Milo Chen nodded. I've hacked a sewer map from the old city plans. We can sneak in through the tunnels under the palace. Tariq Voss loaded his gear. Tunnels are tight, good for ambushes, bad for retreating. Jox looked at his team. Once we're in, we split. Lena and Milo disabled the security grid. Rinna and I find the queen. Tariq holds the tunnel open for our escape. And the traitor? Rinna asked. Jox's voice became firm. No mistakes this time. No secrets. Whoever's working with Victor will answer for it later. For now, we move together. Into the shadows at midnight. They landed far from the city and entered through a forgotten tunnel entrance, hidden under old ruins. Rena used her alien senses to guide them through the dark. Lena carried a small drone that showed the way ahead. The tunnels were damp and silent. Faint noises echoed, maybe rats, maybe something worse. Suddenly a rusted pipe broke beneath Milo's foot. The team froze, but nothing came. Careful, whispered Lena. No more surprises. They walked for an hour, hearts pounding. Finally, they reached the underside of the Golden Fortress. Pipes ran overhead, and a metal ladder led upward. This is it, said Milo. Split here, exchanged quick nods. Team 1, Lena and Milo. The grid, Hakalina and Milo crawled through air vents and narrow shafts. Reaching the control room deep inside the fortress, 2 guards stood watch outside. I'll take the left, Lena whispered.
You take cover?
She moved like a shadow, crept up behind one guard, struck with a silent blade. Milo distracted the second by throwing a tool across the hallway. As the guard turned, Lena jumped and knocked him out cold. Nice, Milo said, impressed. Inside, flashing red screens showed power levels, cameras, and drones. Milo sat down and started typing fast. This system is tough. Zarian security is brutal. Lena kept watch. Hurry. Milo wiped sweat from his forehead. I'm in, shutting down cameras. Opening emergency gate paths. Disabling motion drones. We're blind to them now, he smiled. Now let's get out before the system resets. Team 2 Jox and Rena. Finding the queen, Jox and Rena climbed the ladder. They entered a dark hallway filled with broken statues and shattered glass. This was once the queen's gallery, Rena whispered. Now it was a place of silence and sadness. A soft humming came from ahead. 2 elite guards were speaking in their language. Jax raised a hand. Quiet. He pulled a stun baton and moved forward. Rena followed with a blaster set to low stun. 1 hit, 2 hits. Both guards dropped before they could scream. They moved forward and reached a tall golden door. It was locked by DNA code. I can open it, Rena said. She pressed her hand against the scanner. The door clicked and opened slowly. Inside was a cold silver chamber. On a soft bed lay Queen Althora, her body bruised, armor gone, but her eyes still strong. She turned her head and smiled faintly. You? Came Jox knelt beside her. You didn't think I'd leave you here, did you? I hoped, she whispered, but I didn't expect Earth to answer. He touched her shoulder gently. Earth remembers who stood with us. Now, it's our turn. Suddenly, alarms began to flash. No. Milo's voice came through Jox's comm. Someone just turned the cameras back on. We've been found. The traitor revealed Tariq stood near the tunnel entrance, watching with calm eyes. But behind him, a quiet figure approached. Milo's voice came through again, cracking with fear. Jox. It wasn't one of us. It was the AI system. Someone used my code to plant a bug. Someone who knew how I worked. Jox's eyes widened. Who else could do that? Then it hit him. Tariq, Jox shouted through the comm. Voice replied slowly. I didn't betray you. I saved Earth. Jox's voice turned cold. What are you talking about? Tariq stood still, looking at the stars above. Victor promised me peace. If I gave him your route, he said Earth would be left alone. You trusted him? Rena said, shocked. I trusted logic, Tariq said. One queen is not worth starting a war. Then why are you still here? Jocks asked. Tariq sighed. Because I'm not a killer. I didn't expect to care. Behind him, enemy guards closed in. I'll hold them back, Tariq said. Go save the queen. And then the call ended. Escape begins. Jocks lifted Queen Althara into his arms. Can you walk? I'll try, she said. Rena supported her from the side. They moved fast, passing fallen statues and broken doors. From the other side, Lena and Milo met them. Exit's open, said Lena, but the fortress is crawling with troops. I left traps, Milo said. They'll slow them down. Suddenly the walls shook. Boom. A blast hit the east wing. They're trying to collapse the tunnels, Rena shouted. They ran through fire and smoke. Guards appeared from side halls. But Lena shot down 3 with fast aim. Jocks kicked one aside and kept running. Finally, they reached the outer gate. Milo pressed a button on his wrist device. Remote signal sent. Starblade is coming to pick us up. Outside, Tariq stood, bruised and breathing hard. Round him were 6 unconscious guards. I bought you time, he said. I'm sorry. Jocks stared at him. You made the wrong choice. But you also made the right one in the end. Tariq nodded silently. Back to the sky, the Starblade flew in low. Doors open. Everyone jumped inside. As the ship lifted, Zarian fighters chased from behind. Rena shouted, shields are down. Lena manned the cannons and fired back. Milo opened the emergency boosters. The ship burst forward. Fast and strong. Explosions shook the sky, but the team didn't look back. Inside the ship, Queen Althora sat beside Jax. You kept your promise, she said. We're not done yet, he replied. You're still in danger. She looked at him softly. Then don't leave my side, he smiled. I wasn't planning to. The Starblade flew low over the burning capital, engines shaking from damage. The city behind them was in chaos. Soldiers shouted. Drones flew in panic and explosions lit up the sky. Inside the ship, the team moved quickly. Queen Althora sat, quietly holding her side. She was weak, but her eyes were focused. We can't go to space yet, said Milo, checking the screen. The defense grid is still active. If we try to escape, we'll be blasted from the sky. We need to reach the outer spaceport, said Jocks Reeve. That's our only chance. Lena looked at the map. The closest port is across the Iron Bridge, but it's locked down, guarded by 24 soldiers. Tariq stepped forward. I can clear a path. Jocks looked at him. You sure you want to do this? Tariq nodded. Gave Victor your location. This is how I make it right. Crossing the ruined streets, the Starblade landed in a hidden alley near the old market. The city was still burning. Smoke covered the streets. Civilians hid in broken homes. We used to sing in these streets, said Althora quietly. Now it's just fire. Rena placed a hand on her shoulder. Your people haven't given up. They just need to see hope again. As the team moved, a group of Zarian citizens peeked from behind a wall. When they saw the queen, one of them gasped. She's alive, whispered an old woman. Althora stepped forward. You are not forgotten. Help is here. More faces appeared. From the shadows, Jocks whispered to Rena, if we can get them to rise up, we might have a chance. Ambush at the Iron Bridge. The Iron Bridge was long and wide, hanging over a deep canyon that circled the capital. The only way to the spaceport. Soldiers blocked the entrance with large hover tanks and energy turrets. Jax looked through binoculars. Too many to charge through. We need a distraction. Tariq smiled. Leave that to me. Before anyone could stop him, he grabbed 2 explosives and ran ahead. Cover me, he shouted. Lena cursed. He's crazy. From the shadows, Tariq rolled a flash bomb into the guard post. Boom. Lights exploded. Guards turned their heads. Then Tariq ran out and smashed one turret with his plasma hammer. The machine broke in half. Guards fired at him. But he jumped behind cover and threw another explosive. Jocks led the rest of the team across the bridge. Althora stayed low, protected by Rena. Lena shot 2 guards from the side. Milo hacked a gate. To open the blast door, the group reached the other side just as more guards rushed in. Tariq was surrounded. "Go!" he shouted. "I'll hold them." Jocks looked back. Tariq. But Tariq had already thrown his last grenade, taking down the enemy tank. A huge explosion rocked the bridge. Tariq was gone. Rising flames of rebellion, the queen fell to her knees. "He sacrificed himself for us. He earned his honor back," Jock said. Suddenly, the comms beeped. It was a voice shaky, but hopeful. "This is Captain Vosny speaking from the city's south tower. We saw you on the bridge. Is that truly the queen?" Jocks replied, "Yes, she's alive. Oh, she's leading us to the spaceport." Another voice joined. "I'm Commander Lurith. We've been hiding for weeks. If she fights, we fight too." And then another. "The people are ready. Give the word." "Queen!" Althera stood up, pain in her face, but strength in her voice. "This is your queen," she said over the radio. "Rise with me. Take back your home." Across the city, hundreds of voices replied. "For Zarya." Victor arrives as the rebellion spread. Alarms blared again. Milo looked at the sky. We've got a problem." A large warship appeared. Above the city, black and red, shaped like a dagger. Vector's flagship. From its side, a shuttle dropped fast, landing near the spaceport. "He's here," said Lena. "Vector came to kill the queen himself." Jocks loaded his rifle. "Then let him come." Face to face, the team reached the spaceport gates, where a last squad of royal guards waited. Suddenly, the ground shook. The gates burst open, and Lord Victor walked out. He wore heavy battle armor, red and gold, with a long spear that sparked with plasma. His face was cold and sharp. He smiled. "I expected cowards. Instead, I find humans. Of course." Jock stepped forward. "We're here to take the queen home." Victor laughed. "Home? She has no home. Her people serve me now." Then he looked at Athora. "You were always soft, cousin, trusting humans over your own blood." "I trusted those who stand for peace," she said, "not monsters." Victor pointed his spear at Jocks. "You think you're a hero? Then face me." Jocks raised his rifle butt. Victor tossed his spear into the dirt. No guns, no tech, just a duel. Man to man. Or are humans still weak? Jocks looked at Althora. She nodded. "You can beat him. I believe in you." Jocks stepped forward.
What?
"Let's finish this." The dual Jocks and Victor circled each other on the landing pad, surrounded by fire, smoke, and silent watchers. Victor charged first. He swung with brute strength. Jocks dodged, rolled, and punched. They fought with fists, blades, and broken steel. Sparks flew. Victor was stronger, but Jocks was smarter, faster. He used the environment, ducked under broken panels, kicked dust into Victor's eyes. But a powerful blow sent Jocks flying into a wall. His lip bled. His arm ached. "You're done," Victor said, walking closer. Jocks looked at the queen. She stood tall, watching with pride. Then Jocks saw the spear still on the ground. As Victor raised his fist, Jocks grabbed the spear and jammed it into the control box behind them. The box exploded. Electric energy shot out, hitting Victor hard. He screamed and dropped. Jack stood over him, breathing hard. "It's over." Crown-restored guards dropped their weapons. Citizens cheered. The queen stepped forward. "I am your true ruler," she said, "and I will rebuild Zarinot with fear, but with unity." People roared with joy. Althera looked at Jocks. "You saved my people and my life." "You saved Earth once," Jocks said. "We just returned the favor." Final departure, the Starblade lifted off from the port, leaving the city below. Lena, Rena, and Milo sat quietly. They had lost one of their own, but they had won something greater, hope. In the ship's cabin, Jocks and Althera stood together. "You could stay," she said softly. "I belong to Earth," he said. "But maybe I'll visit. Zarya will always welcome you." Jocks looked out the window as stars appeared ahead. Mission complete. But the story of humans and aliens had only just begun. The Starblade flew silently through space, leaving the war-torn planet of Zarya behind. The stars outside were peaceful now, but inside the ship, the crew sat quietly, their faces filled with many emotions, relief, sadness, and deep thoughts. They had won, but they had also lost. Tariq Voss, the fighter who once betrayed them, had given his life to protect their escape. His seat remained empty. The ship's lights dimmed to rest mode as they flew toward Earth's orbit. Returning heroes inside the Earth Command Center, alarms sounded but not in panic. Officers rushed into the control room smiling. "They're back," shouted one. On the main screen, the Starblade appeared, flying into safe docking range. Cheers erupted. Generals stood and saluted. General Helena Tran stood still. Watching the ship with teary eyes, "They did it," she whispered. "They brought her home." Welcome to Earthus. The Starblade landed on the Earth's Alliance base. Hundreds of soldiers and diplomats gathered outside. Flags waved. News cameras rolled. The ship doors opened slowly. First came Lena Cross, holding her head high, sniper rifle slung over her shoulder. Then Milo Chen, blinking at the bright light, his tablet still in his hands. Rena Solari walked next. Graceful and calm, her alien-human face glowing with pride. Then Commander Jox Reeve appeared, standing tall, and finally, Queen Althora stepped out, dressed in royal silver armor, cleaned and repaired. Her golden eyes scanned the crowd. Gasps filled the air. Everyone bowed. "Queen Althora of Zarya," announced General Tran. "Welcome back to Earth." Althora bowed gently. "Earth answered my call when no other world would. You have my loyalty and my friendship." A new alliance begins in the following days. Great meetings took place. Zarian leaders who had been hiding returned to power under the Queen's orders. She promised peace, freedom, and justice. Earth and Zarya signed a new alliance treaty. "We are no longer two worlds," Althara said at the signing. "We are united," Rena became Zarya's new ambassador, helping both sides understand each other better. Lena and Milo were offered medals of honor, accepted with proud smiles. Jax, however, quietly slipped away from the spotlight. He stood on a hill overlooking the ocean near the base. Waves crashed below. The wind was cool. Behind him, soft footsteps approached. "You left before the ceremony," said Queen Althera. Jax smiled a little. Never been good at speeches. She stood beside him. "You saved me. You brought hope to my people. You are more than a soldier." "I'm just a man who kept a promise," he said. She turned to him. "I offered you a place beside me before. I will ask again." Jox looked into her golden eyes. "You're a queen, and I'm just me. But you are exactly what Zarya needs," she said. He chuckled softly. "I don't belong in palaces. You belong wherever you are needed," she whispered. They stood in silence, the sun setting behind them. Goodbyes and new paths that evening. The team met one last time aboard the Starblade, parked in the hangar. Lena leaned against the ship, arms crossed. "I'm going back to training new recruits." "Same," said Milo. "Except I'll be training AI, not people." Rena smiled. "And I'll live on Zarya, helping build the new government." Jox looked at all of them. "You're the best team I've ever served with." Lena grinned. "That's because we didn't follow your orders half the time." They laughed. Rena's smile faded. "What about you, Jox?" He paused. "I'm not sure yet, but I think I'll visit Zarya for a while." Milo raised an eyebrow. "Just a visit." Jox smirked. "We'll see." A new chapter on Zarya. A month later, Zarya had changed. The skies were clear. The flags of war were gone. Buildings were repaired. Laughter returned to the streets. Queen Althora stood on the palace balcony, watching her people with calm eyes. A guard entered the room. "He's arrived, my queen." She turned. Jax walked in wearing light armor and a smile. "Miss me?" he asked. "You took your time," she said. He held out a small box. Inside was a flower from Earth. "A gift," he said, "for your garden." Took it gently. "Earth blooms are rare here. Maybe that's why they're special. She stepped closer. Are you staying? He looked around. This place needs a strong leader. And someone to protect her. She smiled. Then stay by my side. Not as a guard, not as a warrior, but as something more. He nodded, and without another word they stood together, side by side, overlooking a planet reborn. Epilogue, Echoes. Across the stars, across the galaxy, the story of the human rescue mission spread like wildfire. Other planets that once ignored Earth now watched with new respect. Earth stands by its allies, the message said, and people began to whisper. Don't underestimate the humans. They answer when no one else will.